the purpose that we are here today is that our students are fully on board as far as the field of studies are concerned, as far as assessing ourselves as to which field is most fitful to me, based on my experience, based on my interest, based on the inclination, based on the environment, based on so many factors have happened to us since childhood as students. And those factors really determine our interest. Do we know our interest? Do you know our field of study? How many of us know themselves is a question, right? And therefore, our purpose, as I said earlier, is to just give you a shade of light on what is the potential capability of our students in terms of the fields. What are the requirements from our side as suppliers, and what are the demands from your side? How can we create an equilibrium between the demand of the student and the institutional basic? That's the whole thing. So I will just give you an introductory thing. Later on we'll talk about the administrative factors. Then it will follow by our department heads here. If we look at all department heads, we have what we call the P-SALA. The whole courses are defined as P-SALA. They used to be SMAP. Now it's P-SALA. The P stands for pedagogy. The I stands for information and technology. The S stands for secretarial science. The E stands for English. The L stands for business law. And the A stands for accounting. And the last, which is M, is management. On top of the English, we have theatrical artists. So if you look at that, that is the head of ACF. Gabriel Johannes is the head of this public relations officer, as well as coordinator of theatrical arts. Then followed by Dr. Tusfa Mikael Fasaye, he is the head of management department. Then followed by Ruta Mikael. She is an administrator of the institute, as well as the department head of business law. Then you have the one who is taking care of his my glasses. Is Mr. Gurmai Sangal, who is the head of the department of accounting. And then Mr. Sahaya Zakhle is the head of business English. Sister Alilta, the head of that clinic, we have the clinics, health services. She advises on the health. If people are healthy, they can learn. Whenever you want and seek any advice, you will always consult these people. Mr. Azaria Garmai is also the head of information and communication technology. We call it ICT. I think all of them are here. 7, 8 of them are here. The freshman course, which is being coordinated, you know him, definitely you should know by now. If you don't know you're coordinating by now, then one of the courses, then you should be telling, and that is Mr. Takhla Tusfa Gabriel. He is again wearing two hats. He was coordinating the freshman course, as well as heading or towards the entire campus that in the second campus where we were studying last semester. If you look at the PowerPoint, you see the logo. We call it logo. We started this in 2005, and we had a vision, because we want to envision our students. We want you to have good visions. People without vision cannot reach their targets. So what was the vision of SMAP? SMAP's vision in this case was expressed by this logo. You see the brain, and then you see there is an aura coming out from the brain, a reddish color. And then you see that the internal part is a yellowish, whether you are yellow, whether you are white or black, all human race have the same color deep inside us. So there is no discrimination. We all have the potential to think as long as we make it work, right? And therefore, that's what you have. So, but how do you create this aura or the flames coming out of the brain? And so this is a logo we have. So we said, if we give them books, if they read, down there is Francis Bacon, who said in the 16th century, knowledge is power. Indeed, power comes from the brain. So, if you want to be powerful, what do you need? be educated. If you walk anywhere in the world, if you have this power, you can do anything. So our efforts jointly is we're trying to help you to be different people, to think different, to be better than us. So welcome to SMAP. SMAP is the old name, and it is now accredited by the National Board for Higher Education, meaning we are allowed to train people at diploma and above levels. That is an effort of so many years, and we thank the government for giving that also. As I said, this was the SMAP, the acronym. The S stands for Secretarial Management, Accounting, Pedagogy. It was established, as I said, in 2005. Now we're talking about 10 years almost. Then gradually start with the 4 fields, then expanded to ICT and the other fields. Now there are about 7 fields plus freshman is plus theoretical 8 fields plus freshman makes it 9 fields. We are aspiring to have about 20 areas in the life of this institution. That is what the government allowed us, but we had to go step by step, and this step by step gradual process depends on the capacity of people, depends on the market, depends on the needs of the society, depends on the needs of Eritrea, depends on how we can deliver our capacity. So you build up your capacity in the process. As we expand, definitely more fields will come, but the fields that we are engaged in now are the most priority according to our thinking and feasibility studies. Vision, as I said, we want to be centers of excellence in what? In business, education, and research. So that is the whole vision we have as SMAP. Our mission is to contribute to the capable and committed human capital in Eritrea. That is the mission. We want to contribute. We're not only alone. We have all our colleagues in the nation. We have all other institutions in the world. So we will have a contribution toward this, creating the human capital. A human capital that is highly refined in terms of thinking, in terms of planning, in terms of technology, in terms of social science, in terms of arts, in terms of languages, in terms of law, everything. That is the kind of human capital we want to have, and our mission is to contribute to you. Through you, then Eritrea can be great. What are values? Value, basic value. Do you appreciate education? Our parents, our families, in fact the Eritrean society really appreciates education. The one who appreciates education is with us. It means that person, that institution is subscribing the values that we have. And the value for appreciation of education means it's appreciation for civilization. It's an appreciation for development. Because without education, we cannot do anything. And so anyone who is in favor of education is our best friend, as far as SMAP is concerned, right? This organizational chart, how to operate efficiently. For you, then you start from top down, the departments, so all fields are there. We organize ourselves in management in order to deliver things both effectively and efficiently. So the way you organize is very important for us. Now I'll take you to my department here. The only thing is I would mention how I would see it from my side, all of them. In all of the courses, we'll come to accounting, management, all of them they will describe to you. I want you to have a common thing. What kind of student do we want to have here? So if I take accounting, I want you to be responsible. Responsibility is very important. Every one of us at home, the workplace, the education employee, in this building, we want you to be responsible. Second, the highest civilized population is the one that subscribes for law. And I want you also law-abiding society. Okay? Law-abiding society. If you know the law, if you go by the laws, definitely there will not be any conflict. A civilized society is the one that depends more or subscribes law. So I want you to be like that, every student. Doesn't matter which field you study. What matters is I want you to be responsible. I want you to be law-abiding. I want you to be transparent. In other words, if you have any challenge academically, come and contact all of them. I have this, how can I solve it? How can you help me? If you do that, you are very transparent. Our teachers, all of them are transparent because our role is to serve you, and they are ready to serve you. As long as they are transparent, telling the truth, not hiding things inside yourself. Transparency, openness, telling the good things. Speak your mind. As students, you should be critical also. You should speak your mind. If it's your right, this is my right. It's your obligation to respect it. That's the third one. The one is accountable. For all actions that you do, you're responsible. The only thing I want to say here is, I will stop here. All the fields you study, we want you to be, again, law-abiding, responsible, transparent, and accountable. These are the things I better stop here.
To all of you, welcome to SMAP. To those who have planned to choose accounting, welcome to accounting. Now, incidentally, quite a nice explanation here. Some people think that accounting is addition, maybe multiplication, division, and subtraction. Yes or no? Many people think like that. Accounting does these operations, but it has nothing to do with mathematics. Accounting is a very responsible profession. Now, if you are choosing to be an accountant in a business, do you have to do anything with the money of the owner? Do you have anything to do? Nothing. Money belongs to the owners. But you are very responsible to make sure that you account for it responsibly, legally, right? Professionally, systematically. Otherwise, the property belongs to the owners. So when we train our accountants, what we try to do is to train them to be responsible. In accounting, we don't believe whatever type of information unless we see. They should come here, I should count, I should verify. That's why I call myself, I'm responsible for whatever I do. Now, why do I have to do this? At the end of the day, these days, today is April 30th. The last day for paying what? Tax. Right? The last day for paying tax for grade A category businessmen. Therefore, when I prepare my taxation as an accountant, I have to be there at least by this morning. At least by this morning. I'm tied up legally. What do I take to the tax authorities? A financial report. That financial report should be based on legal documents, legally prepared, systematically prepared, and by the law. There are laws in Eritrea which bind us to do things the way the law tells us to do it. So we have to be legal, not only responsible, but legal. Now, don't ever think that every report is in my pocket, is in my drawer. I am responsible to the third parties, particularly if I am a corporate body, that is, if you need to read newspapers, you see formation of business. Have you ever read a formation of business? Are you that much curious? Yes, probably every other day you'll see, so business was formed. Why do we have to do that? We have to inform the third parties that we are starting business, that if they want to deal with us, we are ready. At the end of the day, we have to be so transparent, prepare our books so legally that whatever is written in our reports also belongs to the third party. Forget the government who is responsible for everything. So we should be also transparent. Any mistake committed, you are accountable. So this is actually accounting. This is actually accounting. So when you choose accounting, don't simply choose accounting. Some percentage will go to accounting anyway. There, it was something like 20%. So we have to propagate, to ask people to come to our department. The manager said, hey, if you become a manager, then you know Lada was the best car in Asmara. You will have a nice Lada, happy manager. So probably someone would choose to go to the department of management. The economist said, economists are dynamic. We keep on changing every day. It's true, isn't it? The dollar was a cent more and a cent less, so dynamic. Hey, who hates to become dynamic? You? You want to be dynamic? Go to economics. Then came the historian. Study English. You know what? He'll go around the world to wars, to what? It's adventurous. No good ears for that. Then came me. All the rest come to accounting. Good day. I left without talking. Because I know the majority choose accounting. Unfortunately, Dr. Tasfai was saying, SMAP is a responsible institution. What does our Minister of Education do? They have said how many departments in the college? 10, 12, 15? Why? Because the nation requires all types of people. We want to produce all types of people, not only accountants, not only managers, not only pedagogy. I don't think I should go further than this, and welcome.
My name is Tasfai Said. I'm head of the Department of Management. What I will try to do now is, I will talk about 5 issues. These 5 issues are issues that are raised frequently by students who are planning to make a choice of a career. That is, you are now trying to make up your mind and make a choice in life, a choice of a career. So to help you a little bit, or just simply to add to your thinking, I want to mention 5 points. These 5 points are: 1, how simple or how difficult is any particular department? 2, are there enough job opportunities in that department after graduation? 3, what are the possibilities of career development? 4, will you ever get job satisfaction when you choose a particular field? And 5, what are the available facilities in the department? I believe these are the main issues that we have to consider when we want to make a right choice. Now, I will try to link these 5 points into the Department of Management, right? Now, I start with the first one. Normally, some students would want to go to a department where there is not a lot of work. Some want to go to a department where they have a hell lot of heavy work and heavy assignment. But to me, that is not an issue. It is you, the student, who can make a department difficult or simple. It is in your hand. If you work very hard, if you use your time or manage your time properly, if you don't be absent from classes, if you are very attentive, if your classroom participation is high, the program is simple for you. But if you are not all this, then the program is difficult. Therefore, it is actually in our hand whether a department is difficult or simple. So when I link it to the Department of Management, I can say management is about really managing things. You have to manage your time, you have to manage your life, your courses, your studies, and everything. And you have to be very active. It's not a matter of sitting down and working alone, isolated in one corner of the room. No. Management is a matter of communication. Therefore, it is up to us to make it simple or difficult. 2, are there enough job opportunities after graduation? As far as management is concerned, the answer is yes. It starts from what do we mean by management. Some of you already know, management is not only at the top level management. We have different level of management. Top level management, middle level management, low level management. You can manage the personnel of a company. You can also manage the finances or the materials of a company. And you have courses which will train you or equip you to do just that. Therefore, it's not like you are a manager, you are at the top. Yes, few will get that post, and each one of you can grow towards that point, but still you have to manage people, you have to manage resources. So when you consider the scope, the area that you can fit in, it's really wide. You can even start your own business. 3 or 4 of you together after graduating can form a company. Why not? You can have a family business. You can make it grow. You can make it modern. You will have the necessary equipment to do that. So the opportunity of getting jobs is, I believe, quite wide. 3, what are the possibilities of career development? Career development, very high. You will start, let's say, you join SMAP and you start with getting a certificate. That's good. Success story. You move ahead and go ahead and get a diploma. Very good. But then you are young and you have your life is the future. You have to be better equipped, professionally upgraded. Therefore, you can continue for a degree program. You can continue for a postgraduate program. Career development is wide and management is so wide that you can be in any kind of business. Like I told you, from private individual businesses to government, companies, national, international organizations, all are open. So there is a possibility. You can specialize in certain management fields. You can be an instructor. There are all possible works. Therefore, the scope and the possibility of career development is quite high in management. 3, rather 4, will you get satisfaction when you do the job? When you are doing a management job, do you get satisfaction? I believe yes. Imagine when you have to combine the resources of one company or one individual or one capital, one investor, use them, manage them properly, and try to meet the objective of that company, whether it is yours, companies, government, whatever. When you see the resources properly managed and meet the objective of the company, what else is more satisfying than this? When you see your ideas being considered by higher level management, what else is more satisfying than this? You produce ideas in the hiring of staff. You produce an idea in how controlling your inventory. And the management thinks about it. Yeah, this is a good point. Big satisfaction. Your ideas are being considered for better results. That's good. And also, and above all, when you see your company growing to become bigger and bigger, employ more people, earn more income, get higher and higher level of profit, expand, what is more satisfying than this? Therefore, in management, there is always certain degree of satisfaction, job satisfaction. And then finally, the 5th point is, what are the available facilities in the department? Well, SMAP has different departments, very clearly mentioned by Dr. Tasbai, and they support each other. When you go to the management program, it's not only about management. Sister departments are also going to offer you some courses. You will be supported. In order to be good managers, you will be supported by sister departments. You can get some courses from business law, and you can get courses from accounting, ICT, all the sister departments. They will offer you courses that will strengthen your knowledge about management. So these facilities are there in the department. Obviously, the reverse is also true. People studying in the other department also get some management course in order to strengthen their capacity. So we have the necessary or the required reference material, we have the course manual, we have able instructors in the department, and the department, being management, it must be able to manage itself properly first, and that's what we try to do. You are most welcome at any minute of the working day to consult, to discuss, to have your ideas being considered. The door is open. Therefore, the facilities here in the department are high. The courses are basically behavioral and quantitative courses. And these courses are important for you to be better equipped in the field of management. Therefore, in short, I'm now concluding, in short, what I'm saying is, this is also one added area for you to consider before you make the final choice of the department. Please consider joining the Department of Management. I'm sure you will not regret it. Thank you very much for your attention.
These are two different types of technologies, information at the same time also communication technology. So when we talk about information technology, this is the technology that we use in order to produce information. At the same time also communication technology. Communication could be created at different levels. At the local level, it could be also at the wider level. So if this information is going to go from one place to another place, it depends also on communication technology. So if I'm going to give you an example of communication technology, for example, internet. Internet is one of the technologies that we use in order to exchange information at a global level. Internet means the biggest network the world has. So internet is simply a network of all networks. So when we talk about communication technology, it comes here in order to interconnect all those networks that we have all over the world. The first one is information technology. If we create information by processing data. So raw data, we do have it using technology, then we can process it, then becomes an information. So when we create this information, as I said, there are different fields or areas that you can use them in order to produce information. So when you choose into the ICT, primarily this is just one example of that one. They are using PowerPoint, computers, all these ones. So this belongs into the ICT department. So all these departments, of course, we are all interrelated or intertwined because no one can survive with the other. My friend just mentioned about management. So management is also one part of communication technology because even though we are using technology, we need to manage them effectively. So even there is one course that deals with managing information systems. So whatever we do, we just borrow or we get help from sister departments. So when you come into the ICT, you make sure that what you are going to do it when you join ICT. So the reason why I'm saying is because as we do our daily process or we produce information, we do use systems. So these systems, whether it is at a small level or at a larger level, they do exist. So when they exist, people invest a lot of money in order to have the latest technology in their daily process. So if they invest a lot of money in their businesses to process their daily work, then technology comes the number one. So technology by itself is not going to be the last option. So even if you have the technology, you do need a human capital. Human capital means that skilled manpower in order to run all these systems. So you create a system. Within this system, then there should be someone in order to run it. So once you finish with the ICT department by the end of the day, then you will have a wider opportunity in order to run systems that are created at a small or large level. The future is going to be very bright because we do use machines, computers. As I said it earlier, we process data in order to create information. So when we create information, we use computers. So computers are integral part of our life. So without computers, no one can live as we speak or as at this time. Therefore, if these computers are going to be our integral parts, then we need someone in order to run all this one. So once you go out from the department, once you graduate, you're going to work it in the IT department. So this IT department could be many subdivisions. So once you finish this one, you could work, especially if you take the first two courses or the preliminary courses, you could work as technicians. That's one option. The other option is also database. We maintain database. For example, SMAP maintains database of students. So the reason why we maintain database is in order to gather so many informations from students. Then when we need to create or to produce a tool for decision making, we can manipulate our data, then we can create very important tool for decision makers. So database is also another option. The other option, you can work also as web developers. We do give courses of websites, so websites are also a very important tool. So if you are here and you like to be known all over the world using websites, you can communicate with the rest of the world. That's also another option. We do teach also programming. Program is very important when it comes to web design, at the same time also database. So you're going to learn all this. Finally, what comes is, as we consider it, infrastructure of a given system, which is networking. So you're going to learn also something about network. Then once you learn all this one, when you go out into the real world, you can work in any of these fields. So if you are a type of person you like to work in this department, then ICT will welcome you. So the reason why we are giving all this orientation is just to relieve you of the stereotypes that you have had from friends or from the past. Then based on the information we are giving you, then make your own decision so that in the future you will end up in the job you would like to enjoy for the rest of the life. So if you have questions, you can ask. Otherwise, this is what I have for you.
Kofi Annan was secretary, yes? Do you know this? Ban Ki-moon is the secretary, yes? General Secretary of the UN, yes? So there is a possibility also for male to be a secretary. Any organization must have a secretary. Any manager do have or should have a secretary to run the business smoothly. Because these days we call secretaries assistant to the manager. Previously we used to have to say copy typist, those who simply keep and do in the machine. No. These days, secretaries are, sometimes we call it the second wife of the boss, you know. You know this? The second wife to the boss. Yeah? Now we have husband and wife. Okay? But here is manager and secretary. So we call them also the right-hand side of the manager. The right-hand side. I can give you an example in our SMAP. We do have two secretaries who are working with Dr. Tesfai and Mr. Taki. Please, whenever you have time, just visit them, look them, what they are doing in the office here. They don't only deal with machines. They support the managers. They are the right-hand side of the managers. these days secretaries do give also decisions here. They do give decisions. There are, of course, limited responsibility. There will be an agreement with the manager, but secretaries are giving decisions to the customers, to the clients. They don't need clients or customers should not visit the manager now and then. They relieve the managers. The managers do complex activities, the secretaries do the lower activities and give decisions, so the managers will concentrate more and more, and the organization will be successful. Yes, to be a secretary, let me tell you frankly, you need to be good in your language, no question. Not only English, if you are good in French, Italian, Spanish or Arabic, then you will be successful wherever you go. Wherever you go. Language is the master for any student in secretarial science. So you should be able to be good in your language. Then interest also should be there, of course. There is no advertisement for good products here. I don't want to advertise for secretaries because good things always do not need advertisements. But the first and the most is your interest, yes. Come and join us, please. After graduation, you will be the best person. But before that, yes, it's impossible, but you should be able to have a score of A or B in the major areas to go and work. So your interest, your language matters a lot for this department. And it's designed, to have skills, knowledge, and techniques also. It's designed to give you good skills, knowledge, and techniques. Then you need to have pleasant personality at the same time. I told you that your relationship will be with human beings, From the top, from the president to the bottom, people will come to your office. Then you should be able, you are the first person to contact this person, not your manager. Then you should be able to have good personality and good communication behavior. If you do have this behavior, then you'll be successful, or the company will be more profitable. That's what it means. Finally, we need the company to exist. So you should be able, well organized in work habits. You should be able. You need to have willingness to take responsibility. No need. The first day you go to the office, yes, it will be very difficult. But through time, definitely you will come up and then you can give decisions. Then the opportunity, people have said, yes, we do have opportunities. Maybe just look at the first one. Reading and writing is very, very important here. Try to read, once at least, or daily, you can see newspapers. If you see Hadas Eritrea or Eritrean profile, you can see advertisements in sector science. The name is sector science and office management, please. Not only sector science, it is office management is also there. How to manage your office. How to manage your office. So the demand is high. Please follow the newspapers. You can see advertisements are coming out now and then. Last 15 days I saw around 20 secretaries are needed. 20. So look, that means you do have a good opportunity. Because you pay money, you come here, day night, you study, you work hard. Then after graduation, at least you should be able to go and work and contribute for yourself, your country and your family. So there is a high demand for this department. Then also there is a shift for you to a higher level. The department has designed, they say sister departments, we have designed different courses. We do give 3 English courses here. You will be capable in your communication. 3 different English courses. Then we will have 4 different management courses. 4 different management courses. We do have ICT courses. And we do have 2 accounting courses, Principles of Accounting 1 and 2. And we do have also general psychology, yes. Because you deal with people, different people with different behaviors are coming to your office here. You have to treat all equally. Don't look the clothes. Okay? Any person coming to your office, you have to handle him properly because he is a human being. No, he is coming to your office for the business. So this course will help you about human behavior. Then we do have also business maths. You will be able to do some interests. Then we have economics also. These are the departments related courses for the department. This means you will have the possibility to shift from one department to another department. And you will have also possibility to shift to a higher level, to a degree level. So this is what I would like to say. The most important is you deal with this department will be able to keep you after graduation. You will be able to deal with different human beings. So we will have a human relationship department, not only machines. Forget about the machines, please. Previously, the name was simply a secretary, is simply a person who only sit down and type. No, that is totally changing. It is the department which will make your office to manage it properly. To manage properly, you will be the image of the organization. After completion of the courses, once you are assigned or once you go to any organization, you will be the image, the first person to be communicated by any customer. So forget about the previous attitude people do have. Simply secretaries are simply typing the whole day. No. Thanks to technology now, computers are there. There is no problem for you to sit down for the whole day. So I think this is enough. As I said, no organization can be run without a secretary. Please, those of you who are good in English, those of you who do have good interests, please come to my department.
Let me start my presentation by just asking one question. Why do we need to study law? Okay. Basically, we all live under the umbrella of the law. Throughout our life, we have a lot of rights and responsibilities. And the law always guides our behavior. It guides our relationship. The law always tells us do these things and don't do those things. So always the law prescribes us. The law always mandates us to act or not to act in certain ways. For example, the law says you can enter into a contract, you are a free person, but always whenever you do that, then try to fulfill the requirements. As a person, you can own property, but whenever you do that also, you try to respect the laws relating to property. So there are a lot of regulations, there are a lot of laws that we need to follow. What if I fail to follow the law? Okay. What if I fail to follow the law and what if I am charged? Can I say that I failed to follow the law because I don't know the rules? Is that enough an excuse? Basically, no. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. As a person, as a responsible citizen, we are all required to know the law and act that way. Okay? So that's why we need to study the law. That's why we need to know the law by heart. The other thing is also, what do you think is going to happen if there is no law in a society or in a country? Can you study? can you live in a peace? Basically, no. We come here to study, we live at a peace, we live as equals, because we are under the protection of the law. If there is no law in a country or in a society, basically it's going to be a total anarchy. It's going to be lawlessness. Okay? And the number of crimes is going to increase, the powerful and the rich are going to live. But the poor and the weak, they can't. So that's why we need the protection of the law. The law protects us. The law helps us to live in peace. So don't you think it's worth studying law if law has this much importance in our life? I think we need to study. Okay? The other thing is also business law. What is the importance of business law? There are a lot of laws which guide or govern business activities. Okay? If you are going to establish a business, there are some laws related to that. If you are going to successfully run a business, there are also another laws which relate with that, like insurance, labor law, international business transactions, and other things, like contract and extra-contractual liability. So if you are going to carry out your commercial activity without contractual, extra-contractual, or criminal liability, you need to know all the laws, or at least you need to have someone who knows the law. And at the end of the day, that's in the stage of liquidation or resolution also, there are laws that need to be followed. So we have law everywhere. That's why we need to know law and business law as well. Okay, I completed my studies. I studied business law. What kind of career opportunities do I have at the end of the day? That's the obvious question which comes to our mind. The one thing is legal advisors. Okay? Most of the business organizations in Eritrea, they don't have any legal advisors. That's why they commit so many legal mistakes. Mr. Bilmai said so many times that you have to follow, we need to do something legally. We were bound to do something based on the law. But if he's going to follow the law, he needs someone to advise him on the legal matters. Okay, so he can be the legal advisor. There's a big gap in this area. Most of them they don't have. So he can fill the gaps. He could be the legal advisors. The other thing is also, you could be judges. You could be lawyers. Basically, in Eritrea, we don't have many legal professionals. That area, we have a obvious shortage. So by studying law, you could be the judges, you could be the lawyers. So that's a good thing, I guess. The other thing could be, you could be paralegals or legal secretaries, which means you can assist the judges or the lawyers to practice the law. And at some point in time, once you gain enough knowledge, then you could be the judge or the lawyers yourself. Okay? The other most important thing is, once you learn the law, then you are going to learn how to argue, how to think critically. That's thinking like a lawyer. Okay? Once you start to think like a lawyer, then you can fit everywhere. You can be in demand in many areas, not only on the legal fields. For example, I study law, but I am working as administrator. So once you study law, your chances are not only limited to the legal fields. You can fit everywhere. Dr. Tesfa Mikhail is a manager, then he needs an assistant or a person who give him advice. If Girmay is going to practice, obviously he needs someone to advise him on the tax and other things. So when he studied law, when he started to think like a lawyer or critically, he can fit everywhere. There is a lot of demand. So come and join business law.
Most commonly sort of professions mentioned, at least when I was growing up, used to be becoming a doctor. What else? A pilot was considered very sexy back then when I was a child. Anything else? These days probably accountant. I wouldn't be surprised because the vast majority of students who come here do pick accounting, ICT, and business management as the disciplines they would like to specialize in. And I'm not surprised. This class, when you were a child, the dream job that you thought you wanted to have was very much influenced by the environment that you lived in, or by the environment that you live in today. That influence will still be there. Our parents
do influence us. Our siblings, brothers and sisters, our friends, the media, all of this do influence us in terms of what it is that we would like to become when we grow up. Now, the reason we got together today is to try and help you guys make an informed decision rather than making a decision based on all the influences that I've just mentioned. Now, if you have already made up your mind, reconsider after going through today's meeting. And if you've already made up your mind, make sure that you really want to do that and nothing else. There's a couple of factors though I'd like each one of you to consider, in addition to all the factors. Still, I have no problem with that. But two factors are important. One, make sure that you're passionate about the subject that you want to study. If you want to study accounting, then you better make sure that you really love to work with numbers. Am I right? I don't want to reduce accounting to number crunching, but if you don't like mathematics, then you better not pick accounting as your choice number one, simply because everybody is doing that. So make sure that you have passion for it. And secondly, do not consider the decision you make today a once in a lifetime sort of a decision. It is not. Because if you chose to study accounting today, you may end up working as an accountant your entire life, maybe not. What I am saying is, education is a lifetime process. It never ends. Maybe you think you want to study accounting, but give yourself a chance to change your mind. You get your diploma, work for 2 years as an accountant, come back to SMAP, enroll as a business English major, which is the reality actually that's been happening at SMAP. Many students come to us having once gotten a diploma in another. Okay, having said that, let me now quickly tell you what it is that we do at the business English department. I don't want to tell you much about what somebody who studies business English can do in the same way that business law or business management or IT or accounting departments told you. Because you know what sets us apart from other animals is the fact that we can communicate using language. So I don't need to go about talking about that at great length. Now, what do we do at the business English department? Three things. One is we offer English language courses to all students of SMAP. A minimum of 2, but they could be 3 in some cases. We do this in order to enable you to become successful academically. If you're studying accounting or management or law, you're going to need English, the language, as your tool in order to access all the knowledge that's contained in the books. So that's one objective of our existence. The second thing we do is offer in what I'd like to call an adult education program. We give general English courses to anybody who would like to improve their English proficiency, starting from elementary all the way to advanced. This is open to anyone interested, and we run this at our campus in downtown Asmara, at Campus 2. And the purpose of that is to give an opportunity, to anyone in Eritrea, and we can have students, from all walks of life, and they don't have to come. They don't have to be Eritrean, and you don't need to have a high school diploma. It's your interest, but you have to be literate, of course, because we use books, but we can take you as an elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, or advanced level based on your score at a placement test that we administer when the applicants come in. And the third program that we run within the business English, theatrical arts, Yosef is going to tell you, these are subsets of the business English. We offer a business English program, okay, a diploma writing program, just like the others, which is the reason we've gathered today, which runs for 2 years, a diploma program. And the reason we set that up is to enable interested students, to refine their communication skills, to become better. Okay, if they start at intermediate level, then when they come out, they become effective users of the English language in terms of speaking, reading, listening, and writing. Now, I don't need to overemphasize the importance of communication. If you are not an effective communicator in whatever language you operate, whether it's Tigrinya or Arabic or English, then you're not able to achieve a great deal, both at a personal level, in the relationships that you form with people, friendship, or working with others, at a workplace, or becoming successful also once you've joined the workforce, because increasingly organizations require a communication skill from the people that they would like to hire. You might have noticed this, in all kinds of jobs advertised in newspapers. One of the things they ask is communication skills. Communication skills, I know, is not limited to language use, but language is very important. Now, why do we need business English? Because knowing Tigrinya or Arabic or any other local language is good, but not sufficient to secure a very good job in Asmara or elsewhere. Whether we like it or not, English has already become a global language. It's a language we use to communicate not only with the native speakers of English, but with the rest of the world as well. There are many Chinese people coming here. We don't speak Chinese. If you're interested, you can apply and learn Chinese actually, but I was told it's a difficult language to learn. And maybe I'll send my daughter there. So if you are to engage with the Chinese here, you've got to speak in English. And if they are to do business here, they have to learn to speak English. And this multiplied, by the world over, a very good grounding in English gets you, a better job. And so it is an end in itself. But you can also think of it as a means to an end. As I said at the beginning, you may consider joining us now and get a diploma in business English, and then you can apply and join other departments at SMAP or elsewhere. And I guarantee you that you're going to do really well, because your mastery of the language or your proficiency of the language will go a long way in making, your academic sort of work more successful. That's all. So if you'd like to do any of this, do come and join us at the business meeting.